It was completed. The discovery of an archaeological tunnel carved into the rock at a depth of 13 meters underground, west of Alexandria. The tunnel is newly discovered. This discovery will rewrite history as we did not know it before. A long-lost tomb. The discovery of a mysterious hidden for centuries. The mysterious life of the mysterious Queen Cleopatra, and the secrets reveals for the first time inside closed rooms about the life of Queen Cleopatra. And Dr. Kathleen Martins succeeded in uncovering the tunnel during excavation work in the area of the Temple of Osiris Magna, west of Alexandria. The tunnel is about 1,305 meters long and about 2 meters high. 2 heads made of alabaster were found near the temple, one of which was of a person from the Ptolemaic era, and the other is likely to be a statue of the Sphinx. For her part, Dr. Kathleen Martins, head of the mission, explained that preliminary studies indicate that the architectural design of the discovered tunnel is very similar to the design of the Eubalinos tunnel in Greece, but it is longer than it, describing it as an engineering miracle. She added that during the excavations and archaeological survey of the tunnel, a part of the tunnel sunk under the waters of the Mediterranean was revealed, and a number of pottery vessels and ceramic jars were also found under the mud sediments, in addition to a rectangular block of limestone. Martinez revealed archaeological evidence confirming the existence of part of the foundations of the Temple of Osiris Magna submerged underwater, which the mission is currently working to uncover, pointing out that according to scientific sources, no less than 23 earthquakes hit the Egyptian coast between the years 320 AD and 1303 AD, which led to the collapse part of the Temple of Osiris Magna and its sinking under the waves. This tunnel is not the first discovery of the mission, as it had previously found many important artifacts inside the temple, including coins bearing the images and names of Queen Cleopatra and Alexander the Great, a number of headless statues, and statues of the goddess Isis, in addition to inscriptions and statues. Semicircles of various shapes and sizes. The mission also discovered a network of tunnels extending from Lake King Mariot to the Mediterranean Sea, and 16 burials inside rock-cut tombs that were commonly used in the Greek and Roman eras, in addition to a number of mummies that highlight the features of the mummification process during the Greek and Roman eras. For 15 years, which is the age of the excavations in the temple, the mission seeks to discover the tomb of Queen Cleopatra, where it is believed that Cleopatra and Mark Antony were buried inside the Temple of Isis and Osiris in the Osiris Magna area, at a site 45 kilometers west of Alexandria. Dozens of films have been produced about the life of Queen Cleopatra, along with the publication of millions of books dealing with her biography, historical novels, and even science fiction stories. This personality, immortalized in history, has proven that women are capable of leading nations, thanks to their intelligence, kindness, and cruelty if necessary. The Russian Fiber website stated in a report that much of what we know about Cleopatra, Queen of the Nile, comes from historical accounts that have been subjected to a great deal of distortion and are overshadowed by the mythical and mythical dimension. Therefore, it became difficult to differentiate between fact and fiction. She is not Egyptian. Despite the common belief that Cleopatra was of Egyptian descent, the reality indicates that she belonged to the Macedonian Ptolemy family, which descends from one of Alexander the Great's generals, Ptolemy I. This does not mean that she was of Greek descent only, but that she also spoke the Greek language and was familiar with the customs of the Greeks. The Ptolemy family ruled Egypt for 300 years, after Ptolemy I ascended the throne following the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC. The ancient Greeks were fond of invading other countries, and the Egyptians, for their part, often owed allegiance to a foreign pharaoh, because they were disturbed by the rule of the Persians, who controlled them before the advent of Alexander's forces. Incestuous marriage was widespread in those times, not only in Europe, but also among the royal families in the Middle East. But the ancient Egyptians exaggerated the practice of this habit, to the extent that it became part of their established traditions. The Egyptian myth indicates that the god Osiris married his sister Isis to preserve the purity of the royal offspring. It seems that the pharaohs also followed this tradition, and in that era no one was aware of the genetic consequences of this marriage. When the sons of Ptolemy came to power, they maintained this habit, as Cleopatra married when she became queen of her younger brother. Her intelligence exceeded her beauty. Although all modern photos show Cleopatra with an attractive and charming face, there is a coin bearing a picture of her, found in February 2007, which confirmed that this queen was not as beautiful as many praise. Historians mention that the strength of Cleopatra's presence and her personality were irresistible. She had diplomatic abilities, studied mathematics, medicine, chemistry, economics, history and geography, and spoke 9 languages. 3. Supported Egyptian culture. In addition to the Greek language, Cleopatra spoke the languages of the neighboring nations of Egypt. She was the only one among the descendants of Ptolemy who was interested in learning the language of the ancient Egyptians, and she wore traditional clothes and participated in Egyptian ceremonies, which made her popular among the public, regardless of her foreign origins. She killed her brother. Disagreements occurred between Cleopatra and her brother Ptolemy XIII, who tried to usurp the throne and monopolize power. Therefore, Cleopatra resorted to Julius Caesar to protect her from the ambitions of her brother, who married her. In the end, Caesar was able to defeat Ptolemy XIII, who drowned in the Nile during his escape. Her second brother also died in mysterious circumstances, but there is a widespread belief among historians that she poisoned him. Beauty or treatment? Cleopatra appears in all the pictures wearing eyeliner. Historians' research has proven that this preparation was composed of 4 different substances, and they were not only for cosmetic purposes, but also for health purposes related to protecting the eye from infection, especially during periods of the Nile flood and the spread of bacteria and infections. Interestingly, while Cleopatra, thanks to her culture, understood the health benefits of eye makeup, most Egyptians believed it to be a kind of magic. Drinking and promiscuous. Cleopatra was smart, witty, and fun-loving. She and her lover, the Roman general Marcus Antonius, set up their own drinking club, in which wild parties and banquets are held. Perfume factory. Cleopatra studied chemistry, and she believed in the power of scents not only for cosmetic purposes, but also as a means of persuasion. And Cleopatra spread perfumes on the sails of her ship before her first meeting with Marcus Antonius, so that her influence on him would be strong. She also owned a perfume factory, the ruins of which are located near the Red Sea in Ein Gedi. Bets and extravagances. According to legend, Cleopatra once got into an argument with Marcus Antonius, and assured him that she could spend the equivalent of 10 million silver coins on one meal. Cleopatra then asked for a modest meal and a glass of vinegar, then took off one of her earrings, pulled out the pearl that adorned it, threw it into the vinegar, and watched it melt. After that, she drank a glass of vinegar to prove that she would do anything to win the bet.